what does it take to live your dreams? How do you live your dreams? Well, when I put my name into a browser, what I find and what I look at when I do that is, and I'm not flexing, I'm just saying that this is how it works. And I put my name in the browser, and then I see everything I was fantasizing about when I was 12 years old. When I was 12. Because when I was 12, I used to do a lot of visualization, or what you would call daydreaming. Now, I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I lived in my head. It was that, there were people that would do one thing really, really good, right? Like forever until retirement age, and then they would retire. They would get a gold watch and a thank you party and take a couple of cruises or whatever, relative, right? And then die. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not a life. Because to me, life is like a Baskin and Robbins, right? Like if you're just having vanilla or you're just eating vanilla, right? You're just tasting vanilla, then like what like it's boring, right? So I went into the world going, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. I had like a checklist. I want to do this. And so all I knew is I wanted to live my dreams. That's all I knew. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know anything. And now I realize, right? I've learned, like in 2007 when I started doing deep research, I go, oh, the how is God's job. Okay. But I was praying to God all the time. I would pray to God all the time, go, please, please, Lord, let me do this, let me do that, let me do that. Father God, let me do this, let me do, and I didn't know how it was going to happen. And slowly, things happen. But here's the thing, right? Only doubt and fear come between you and your goals. Good morning, Jay. Our moderator, Jay, is on TikTok, so we'd like to welcome everybody on TikTok. I got to look down here, up there. So yeah, thank you, Jay. And we're waiting for people to file in on TikTok. So anyway, but yeah, so I was living my dreams, right? Or I set out in life to do that. And I had these unrealistic goals that everybody told me, oh, no, you're never going to do that. There's no way you could do that. There's no way you could. So those were people my age, my peers, who were telling me these things, right? Now, the adults in my world were telling me something else. The adults in my world were telling me, oh, you're smart. You can do this. You're smart. You can do this. You can go to college. You can do anything you want. You're so smart. You could do anything. And I was like, what? I could do anything? So I started thinking, like, how am I going to go about this? And how am I going to go about that? I didn't know how. So I started the journey, right? It's all about the journey. And the journey took me into, what I call a dead end. And I got to this dead end part, and I'm like, but I noticed that along the way, to the dead end part, that every time I would pray for something, like it would happen. Like I would pray for something and it would turn out. And all I had to do is go, Father God, please, Lord, please, I need this, I need that, whatever. And pretty soon it would like turn out. So I started testing prayer, and I started testing prayer, I think, right into when I was in my 30s. I started testing prayer. So I used to pray for off-the-wall stuff because I thought that, all right, let's see if this is real. If prayer is real, then that means if I pray for something really weird or really that something like God wouldn't give me, right? Let's try and test prayer. So I prayed for stuff God wouldn't approve of, and lo and behold, it popped up, right? And I'll never forget this. I wrote down this intention once, right? And I said, I am so happy and grateful now that I have a playmate. And I was just joking around. I was like, okay, let's see if that works, right? It's something really off the wall. And 2 weeks later, she showed up. I mean, this is, and I was like, whoa, and this wasn't the kind of, this is a G-rated episode, okay? So, but it wasn't that kind of thing. It was just like somebody that just came into my life, and we had some like good experiences and stuff, and then boom, she's right out again. And I'm like, whoa, this is like magic, right? But no, this is not magic. This is your subconscious working. So along the way, right, I had to have all these little jobs here and there. But there was always entertainment. I was always headed towards entertainment. Well, entertainment didn't come till 1999, right? Where I got on radio show that actually, helped me with everything else, that made everything else happen, right? And the way that that happened was by accident. It was by accident. Well, at least I thought it was by accident, right? But I'm like, no, it was in your subconscious. Okay, now things before that, the struggle was continuous. The struggle was continuous. And then in 2007, when I did the research, I go, oh, okay, well, the subconscious was your struggle because your subconscious can be a living hell, okay? It depends on what you program into it. Okay, now, are you worried? Okay, so let me give you an example. Worrying is like praying for something bad to happen, okay? When you worry, you are begging for that circumstance. Why? Because that's where your focus is. It's on whatever you're worried about. And when you focus on what you're worried about, you bring it into your world. Whatever you focus on. Now, a lot of people tell me, I meet religious people who tell me, oh no, that's evil stuff, that manifestation stuff. It's evil. No, it's not evil. It's your subconscious. Okay, so as you think, so you shall be. In the Bible, it says, your heart. God knows your heart, right? So as you are in your heart, so you are. Okay, and so that there's so many things in the Bible. In Mark, it says, ask, believe, receive. Well, who are you going to ask? You're going to ask God. Where is God? Jesus told us, right? Jesus told us the kingdom is here. This is where the kingdom is. So, I was looking at everywhere else except the kingdom, right? And so in 2007, I take this deep dive into quantum physics. I take this deep dive into like all these things, like so many things. All of a sudden, right, it dawns on me that, oh, this is subconscious, that everything is manifested from your subconscious. So you can actually think something and you can program your subconscious to give you whatever you want. Because what happens is the subconscious takes you in baby steps towards your goal. Okay, your subconscious will take you in baby steps. All you have to do is tell your subconscious, all right, I want this, right? Now you've inserted the belief, right? So you need to insert it a bit. You need to write affirmations. So there's the 4 pillars are affirmation, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. And when you do this process directed at one thing, it has to happen. It has to happen because the subconscious goes, okay, well, I always use the new car as an example, right? Oh, you want a new car? Okay, well, maybe you should save money. Maybe you should make a loan. Maybe you should go take a test drive. Maybe you should whatever. So you get all these ideas is what I'm saying, right? Now you get all these ideas because your subconscious is trying to lead you to your goal. Okay, so you can call it goal making if you want to. You can call it manifestation, but it's the subconscious. There's only 3 things. There are only the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. That's all there is. Now, the superconscious is what people call God or consciousness, and the superconscious works with the subconscious. Now, scientists aren't sure how it works, but they know it works. They know there's something there. They just can't prove it yet. So I started to try and prove it. So in 2007, right, I go down this rabbit hole. And it wasn't until 2010 that I started Here For You Life Coaching because I had to learn first, right? So I go, my first experience was with Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. And I look at The Secret. Now, they don't tell you in The Secret that it's subconscious. They won't tell you that part, okay? So I'm trying to break it down for you so that you can live your dreams. So you can live your dreams and go, yeah, I did that. Oh, that was great, Now, the thing about human beings is they like to relive things over and over and over and over and over, okay? And this is why a lot of people get stuck. And they get stuck because they want to repeat this again, this again, this again. The good old days, good old days, good old days. Well, you know what? If you're stuck in good old days, if you're stuck in yesterday, then that's where you're going to end up. Because your subconscious will keep repeating the things you've always done. It'll keep repeating the same programs. It'll keep repeating, and you'll keep living the same life. And then one day, you just run out of life. That's the way it works. So this manifestation thing is not very mystical, okay? This manifestation thing is not magic. It's not witchcraft. It's not voodoo. This is very deliberate goal setting and goal attaining, okay? It sounds, It sounds real mystical and everything, but it's very, very simple. All you need to manifest effectively is one of these, okay? Now, what I do is I show everybody my tablet. So this is my tablet right here that I write on. And it's very easy, okay? So get a tablet like this, get a pen, okay, and write. I am so happy and grateful now that I have, what? What do you want? Okay, $50 extra this month. Thank you. That's your affirmation right there, okay? I am so happy and grateful now that I am driving my brand new car. Thank you. Okay, now what happens? Does the car just show up in the driveway? No. No. You know what happens? Well, I'll tell you what happened to me real quick. Okay, what happened to me was I was driving down the highway one day and in a car that I was rebuilding. You know, cars rebuild themselves after a while, right? You know, new radiator, new carburetor, new whatever, new water pump, you know, all the basics, right? And so I was driving down the street one day and I go, you know what? I'm going to go look at the new car lot. I just got that idea. And it was intuitive thought. And you need to follow intuitive thought. And so I followed intuitive thought, went right into the car dealership, and 5 hours later came out with a $57,000 car. And I was like, whoa, how did that happen? Because at that time, back in those days, right, back in 2007, I did not, had no idea what my credit score was. I was just working. That's all I knew. I was just working. Work, work, work. That's all I knew. Okay, just do that. Just work. Just work, work, work. But I was always taught that you buy a good used car, right? And that makes sense at a certain age. That makes sense for some people, right? But here's the thing, right? Your mind gets stuck on good used car. That becomes your paradigm. That becomes your overall understanding of things. And when your overall understanding of things gets stuck at a certain place and you don't change it, then that's where you stay. So I was stuck at good used car. Okay, but when I went in and I decided to, you know, quote, pull the trigger, end quote, right? Walked out with a brand new sports car and I was like, whoa, like, and I felt guilty the first time I did that, right? Like I felt guilty. And guess what happened after that? Money came to support it. Clients came, business picked up, things happened, right? And people were looking at me going, wow, dude, this is crazy. Like the stuff you're doing is crazy. And 3 years later, this guy tells me, well, you know, if you just let the equity build up in this car, you can get another one in 3 years. So I started buying new cars every 3 years, buy a new one, buy a new one. And pretty soon I was like, whoa, okay, well, what am I really trying to prove here, right? So I didn't have to prove anything anymore. So I thought, okay, well, I'll lease the next one, right? And then it kind of went like that and whatever. But until today, I can tell you one thing. Until today, the only thing I know is new car smell. That's the only thing I know. Like I get in the car, I go, oh yeah, it's still there. I'm not dreaming. It's still there. Okay. But affirmations work. So affirmations is not like journaling. Okay. So affirmations is a little bit different. Okay. Affirmations is you're affirming something into your subconscious. Now your subconscious takes beliefs. It takes orders and forms them into beliefs. Your beliefs shape your paradigm or your general understanding of things. And that dictates your actions and your habits. Now, human beings are very sensitive beings, okay? Human beings are very sensitive. You develop habits very quickly, right? It can be as simple as, oh, I like those cookies, right? Let me have another cookie. Pretty soon you have another cookie. Pretty soon, like, oh yeah, those are good cookies. And pretty soon you're down in the store. What are you doing? You're buying those cookies. And then every week you get a bag of those cookies when you're in the store. You have formed a habit, okay? Now, there are good habits and there are bad habits. A lot of people have good habits, okay? If you want to alter a good habit, if you want to make it even a better habit, you can do that. You can modify it. You can do anything with a human being. Okay, a human being is like a computer. So your frontal lobe of your brain, where you think the million thoughts a day, that's your operating system. Your subconscious is your hard drive. Okay, and the network that you're plugged into with everybody else is consciousness, or what we call the superconscious. So there's the conscious, the subconscious, and superconscious. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Rana. Good morning, Coach. Coach Love. Good morning. Gotta say hi to my gang over here on TikTok. Hey, good morning, good morning. How you guys? Buenu 6. Good morning. So you start, putting your intentions to work with affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. So that's the affirmations part. So, what is the meditation part? Well, you need to be still because praying is asking. Okay, when you pray, you are asking. Okay, you need to listen as well. So, you need to speak and you need to listen. You're speaking to God, you're listening to God. Okay, so a lot of people go, oh well, meditation, that's evil. No, it's not. Just be still and know. Just be still and feel the instructions come. Intuitive thought. You know what happens when you're too busy? When you're too busy, you get disconnected. When you're too busy and you scrolling and you're looking at all these distractions and yeah, life gets busy. And then guess what? Your subconscious gets used to all that stimuli. And guess what happens? Anxiety happens, fear happens, overthinking happens. All of these things happen. Okay, now what's the antidote for this? Well, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. Okay, and Esther Hicks puts it a different way. She says you have to be ready to be ready to be ready. Okay, so you need to prepare. Okay, to have the preparation in place and then to proceed with the programming of your subconscious mind. And that's easily done. It's so easy, okay? But here's the thing, right? It takes repetition. The subconscious learns in repetition. So the more you repeat, the more you write, the more you speak it into existence, then it'll come along a lot faster, okay? Now, so that's the meditation part. Be still and feel intuitive thought, okay? Intuition is God's voice. Intuition is a feeling. It's not like you're going to hear an audible voice, okay? If that's happening, then you need medical help. But but anyway, but yeah, intuition. Intuition is God's sign. God telling you, hey, do this, do that. Let me give you an example of intuition. Okay, you're driving down the highway, okay, and you get that feeling you should make this right-hand turn over here, but you have free will, right? And you have free will, and your free will goes, nah, that's okay. I'm not gonna say. I'll go down to the next light, and then you get stuck in a traffic jam. What happens? You go, I knew I should have, right? I knew I should have turned, right? Because you did know. Oh, sorry about that. but you did know, okay? And you knew you should have turned, and you dismissed it. And then what? You got stuck in the traffic jam. Something was warning you that there was a traffic jam up there, right? Okay, maybe not. But how many times has that happened to you? Quite a bit, I suppose, right? Okay, so trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust intuitive thought. And in order to hear it, because things get busy, things get loud, right? Life in general gets loud. But in order to hear it, you need to be still. You need to relax. You need to just chill, okay? And you need to close your eyes because your eyes distract, okay? So your eyes distract you into a different reality, okay? And here's what I'm talking about. So let's say you see this sports car you like, okay? I use cars a lot, but yeah. So you get distracted into the car, okay? Let's say you see a guy you like. You get distracted into the guy. Let's see, what about a girl? Get same thing, get distracted, right? What about a watch? Oh yeah, then you go like that, right? See, so now you're all about that. Well, you have a reticular activating system in your brain stem. Now, the reticular activating system in your brain stem starts to filter out everything you're not interested in. Okay, so when's the last time this happened? So you're online and you're looking for something. It could be furniture, it could be whatever, right? Maybe it's a car. Let's go back to the car. Maybe it's a car, okay? Maybe it's a red convertible. Maybe it's a red Corvette convertible, okay? So now all of a sudden your reticular activating system through your subconscious goes, oh, okay, red Corvette convertible. All right. And now all of a sudden you're driving around and you go, wow, I never knew there were so many red Corvette convertibles around. I never knew that, right? But you start seeing more and more of them because your reticular activating system is showing you, because it's pointing it out. It's like, hey, there, you wanted that? Okay, there it is. You want that? Okay, there it is. You want that? There it is. And it could be the same as like, dessert, right? Oh, you like cake? Oh, there's the cake. Walk into the store. Oh, look, the cake. You see what I'm saying? You go to the party. Oh, there's a dessert table. Oh, look, there's cake. I mean, it's the same thing, okay? But it's your reticular activating system. You are a very advanced being. Being a human is a huge blessing, And God is real. God is very real, okay? But God isn't here. God isn't here. The kingdom is within. Jesus Christ told us the kingdom is within. Everything is within. The conscious, subconscious, and superconscious are within, okay? There is no out there, okay? There is only nature out there and things from someone else's in here. That's all that's out there. Okay, so your reticular activating system working with your subconscious takes you and shows you your goals. It shows them to you. Your reticular activating system goes, hey, here you go. There's that money you wanted. There's that money you wanted, right? Your subconscious goes, oh, you wanted money? Oh, well, you could take a side job. So let's say you wrote an affirmation for $350. Okay, so you go, I am so happy and grateful now that I have $350. Thank you, right? Then you get an idea. You go, wow, if I mow Bob's lawn across the street, I could charge him $50 for that, you know? And then you go and see Bob, and Bob goes, yeah, you can mow my lawn. Okay, there you go. You got 50, right? And then you go, wow, if I could do that for Bob, maybe I could go to Mr. Henderson's house across the street and maybe mow his lawn, right? And then you do that, and then you get the idea, hey, I'm onto something. Maybe a lot of people need their lawn mowed, right? And then pretty soon you cash in, and maybe it's over $350. Maybe it's under $350. But you have found the means now to your subconscious has pointed it out to you to get to that goal, to get to that amount, to get to that place, to get to that manifestation. Okay? That's manifesting. So manifestation is not like, okay, well, I'm going to do this incantation. I'm going to throw the salt over my shoulder and poof, brand new car in the driveway. No, it doesn't work that way. Never works that way. So in my journey, right, my mantra was, I only live my dreams. That's all. I just live my dreams. And now when I put my name in a browser, I see all the dreams I had when I was 12 years old. Everything I said I was going to do when I was 12. And I wasn't consciously aware that these things were happening, right? When I was 12 years old, I used to go to this ranch. And this ranch, there was this horse called Firecracker. And Firecracker was the most beautiful, fastest horse on the ranch, right? Now, fast forward into my life, my adult life. Okay, I always made that intention in the back of my head. I said, yeah, one day I'm going to have a horse. One day I'm going to have a horse. One day I'm going to have a horse that looks just like Firecracker. I'm going to have a horse that's just like Firecracker, just as good as Firecracker, right? And my classmate was actually Firecracker's owner, and because his parents owned the ranch. And so what I did was I just had that thought in the back of my head. And it took a while. But one day, Firecracker came along, my version of Firecracker. It was a kind of different Firecracker, and she was a champion. There, you guys can see it over there? Yeah, her name is Baby Girl. Her name was Duchess. And she became a champion. But she became a champion because of her trainer, okay? Not because of me. I didn't train her, okay? But here's what happened, right? Through a you want to say mysterious chain of events, right? One thing led to another, to another, to another, to another, and pretty soon the horse showed up. But it was in the back of my head since I was 12 years old, okay? So there's so many things like that. Now look in your life. Look around your life. Everything that you have in and around your life, your friends, okay, your clothes, your car, your shoes, your everything you have, all your circumstances, your circle of friends, everything, right? It all came from your subconscious. Now, your subconscious can also be a living hell. Okay, what am I talking about? What you talking about, uncle? Okay, this is what I'm talking about, right? When you start worrying, when you start getting on a negative roll. You ever have a negative roll? You know what a negative roll is? You know, you get up late, right? So you start rushing, right? And then you go in the kitchen, you pour yourself a cup of coffee, you spill the coffee, you're rushing out of the house, right? You rush down the street, you're driving too fast, you get stuck at a red light, right? Okay, all of these things start happening one after the other, because now you have thrown your natural biorhythms off. You have thrown everything off, your natural rhythm, okay? Because you're rushing. Okay, now Rhonda Byrne, I'm going to give her credit for this. Rhonda Byrne said, when you're rushing, you're not being grateful. Okay, when you're in a rush, when you are hurrying, okay, you are telling God, right? this is not important. I'm just going to rush through this. I'm not going to focus through this. I'm not going to ease through this. I'm not going to show gratitude through this. I'm going to rush through this, right? I'm going to rush. Okay, so don't rush. So here's a solution, right? If you're on a negative roll, let me give you solutions. If you're on a negative roll, the first thing you should do is pull over to the side of the road, wherever you're rushing to, okay, and take a 5-minute break. And the 5-minute break is so that your vibration can calm down, so that forward momentum vibration can calm down, because you are pushing everything out of whack, because you are rushing, because you're not going at natural rhythm. You are push, 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 push. Okay? Another thing that happens when you push, another thing that happens when you work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. You know, you come home and you go to job number 2 and you work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. Okay? You have this energetic force field out in front of you like this, and your blessings cannot get to you because it's like this. It's like it's trying to get to you. It's trying to, but you're working hard. You're working hard. You're pushing. You're pushing yourself. You're pushing yourself. And in the process, you're getting frustrated. And you're getting frustrated because you're pushing. And the more you push, the more frustrated you get. And the harder you work, the more frustrated you get. And pretty soon you don't feel appreciated. Okay? This is another negative spiral. Now, if you're suffering from these negative spirals, what's the solution? Time out. Meditation. Meditation in the way that you just sit still. Just sit still and wait for God's blessing. Just sit still for 5 minutes and wait for instructions. Just sit still for 5 minutes of silence. But that's the last thing we think about. What do we think about first? Oh, I better hurry up. I better hurry. I'm late. Whoa, I better hurry up, right? I got to do this. I got to do this now, right? And then what's the end result of all of these things happening for so many days, for so many years, for so many, right? What happens? Because your subconscious is making you repeat this cycle over and over and over and over and over. You're living the same life over and over and over and over. And you go, oh, I'm all stressed out, but that's my life. You've accepted that. You've accepted that. And now what happens? You become like this. You become like this. This represents, I'm hiding in here. I'm hiding in this body. This represents, I'm not cooperating. This represents, I'm not participating. This represents, nope. This represents hard head. This represents stubbornness. This represents closure. And I'm talking about closure unto yourself, not closure for an event, okay? And what has to happen? This has to happen. You have to relax. Relaxing is confidence. Confidence is relaxation. And then boom, you are open. And you need to be open. But what do? We close up. Why? Well, there's a lot of stimulus on here. There's a lot of things on here that make us go, oh my God, right? You just go, oh my God, okay? Now you're getting dopamine hits, okay? But they're not positive dopamine hits all the time because you can't unsee stuff, right? Okay, so I deal with teenagers. I deal with teenagers that scroll, and, oh my God, right? And then they get ideas. Oh, maybe we should do that. That looks like fun. Yeah, let's do some wheelies on the freeway, you know, or whatever. I'm being funny about that, but I'm just saying that too much stimulus for the human being is no good. You need to relax. You need to chill. You need to have that moment where you can just say, okay, I'm just going to be. First you do, then you be, then you do, then you be, then you find your natural rhythm. Now, everybody's natural rhythm is different, okay? Everybody's an individual. Everyone's perception is different. Your understanding of things is different from your partner's understanding, from your children's understanding, from your neighbor's understanding. Your perception is different. Out of 7.2 billion people on the planet, and there's no duplicate. There's doppelgangers, there's people that look like somebody else, but there's nobody exactly like somebody else. Okay, so everything is different. Everyone is unique. Everyone is an individual. So find your natural rhythm. How do you find your natural rhythm? Well, start going until you get a result. right? So you work till you get a good result. You get a good result, take a break. Take a break. Kick back. Okay? Then what? Then jump back in again and go again, go again, go again. Pretty soon you'll find out when you're very aware, when you're more self-aware, which is where the vocalization exercise comes in. Okay? We'll talk about that in a second. But when you start to develop your natural rhythm, you're going to find out when you push too much, or when you work too much, or when you did too much, or when you said too much, or when you thought too much. Okay? You're going to attain that awareness. So you'll be able to tell. Okay. Now, in my career, I worked with a lot of people. I worked with all kinds of people, all different thought patterns, different habits, different everything, and all I did was sit there and observe. My job was comedy. My job was to be funny. My job was to make something. I was a voice actor. That was one of my things. One of my things when I was a kid. I want to be a voice actor. I want to be a voice actor. And then I started in radio, and I thought radio would get me to entertainment, and then I could do my entertainment show, and then radio went through the roof, and then I got my dream, and then that led to the other dream, and then that led to the companies, and then that led to all these things happening. But they were all subconscious, is what I'm trying to tell you, and you can do it too. Okay, it's not just me. It's not just Bruno Mars. It's not just whoever it is, right? It's not the president of the United States. It's just not, the secretary of the interior or whatever. It's you too, okay? People look at, 10-foot tall people, celebrity people, you look at movie people, you look at movie stars, and you go, oh, wow, I could never do that. I was a voice teacher for many, many years, 36 years to be exact. And as a voice teacher, everyone would come to me and go, wow, I want to sing like Whitney Houston, but I want to sing her songs, but I can't sing like her. And I'm like, of course not. You're not her. You're you. But let me show you how you can sing her song. Let me show you how you can sound like you and sing her song and do it well. And that's how we did things, right? Because when you're facing comparisons like that, right, it gets very intimidating and people feel small. Because why? Because, well, media blows them up big, right? They're 10 feet tall. Like, oh, how can I do that? I can't do that. Okay, I was just the opposite because I was too stupid to know the difference. So I used to see, Donny Osmond on TV. I used to tell my mom, I can do that. I can knock him out. Take me to Hollywood, Mom. Show that guy right now. Of course, I wasn't good. I wasn't even good. I wasn't even good at anything at that age when I was watching Donny Osmond. But I was like, yeah, I'll take him. I'll take him right now. That kind of thing, right? But that's how we are when we're young, right? What happens when you grow up? You start leaving the imagination behind. What happens when you grow up? You start leaving the dreams behind. What happens when you grow up? You feel you have to grow up, right? Nonsense. Take your imagination with you, okay? If you're 60, 70, 80 years old right now and you're watching this, keep your imagination. Keep it going. Keep it going. If you're 80 years old, imagine yourself at 90. If you're 90 years old, imagine yourself at 100, sitting at your 100-year-old birthday dinner and everybody's celebrating. Put that in your imagination, okay? Imagination. Einstein said imagination will take you everywhere. Education will take you from A to Z. I know a lot of educated people. They have multiple degrees, and a lot of them are my clients. And they're very good people, and they're very highly specialized and detailed. But there's a few things they need to learn. There's just a few things. And those things are things I know. The things they know, I don't know. I don't care to know. Doesn't bother me. What I don't know does not bother me. Okay, a lot of people have hang-ups with what they do not know. I'm here to tell you, you need to come from I do not know. I come from I do not know every day and I learn more. I come from I do not know and pick up a whole new set of skills in 1 month's time. I come from I do not know and I ask questions. How does this work? How does this really work? Right? A lot of people will feel stupid if they ask those kind of questions, right? Oh man, they're gonna think I'm stupid. No, just come from I do not know. When you come from I do not know, people are happy to share what they know. People are happy to share what they know. And I'm happy to be here to share with you what I know. And what I know is that you can live your dreams. I'm here for you. That's the name of my company, by the way. You can go to hereforyoulifecoaching.com. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to spread the good news. Okay, so your subconscious is responsible for manifestation. Okay, so yes, you pray to God. Yes, you pray to whoever you believe. Yes, you do all of that, but you also meditate. You also visualize. That's your imagination. Visualization. How many types are there? There's a couple different types. So you visualize, you see yourself there. You see yourself with your dream in real time because there's only one long now. That's all there is. There's this one long now. But because we have to be an organized society, they put it into a calendar. They put it into hours. They put it into days. Okay, but there's one long now. You have a long now. All you need to do is bring things into your now. That's all you need to do. Now, the other thing is vision boarding. Okay, this is the vision board for my company. Okay, put it up like that. So I have one camera here. I have one camera there. Okay, so every time my phone wakes up, every time I pick up my phone, my subconscious sees my companies. It sees the representation of my companies. Okay, it sees the representation of. Now you can look our companies up. Voice Master Enterprises, family of service companies. You can look it up. It's a real thing. But when I see it, it's not just real. It reminds me, I need to do that. I need to focus on that. Now, I have different vision boards for different things. And vision boards are easy to make, and we're going to make one soon. I think maybe that might be Monday. So we're here. You're watching 7 at 7. We do this at 7 a.m. Hawaii time in the morning every day at 7 o'clock. So wherever you are, you can gauge the time. It's 7:37 in the morning in Hawaii right now. But yeah, you can. And what I have when I open let's put it where there's no apps. When I open, my wallpaper looks like that. My subconscious sees this. My subconscious sees this through the apps like that. When the apps are there like that, my subconscious sees the apps. I'm consciously working on the apps, but my subconscious sees the money. My subconscious sees the wallpaper, okay? So, you're gonna put on your wallpaper whatever is important to you, and sometimes that may be your children, and that's where your focus is gonna go, okay? Make sure it's good focus, okay? So sometimes you're going to put maybe your dog or your pet or something you love or somebody you love, okay? It's not a good idea to focus exclusively on money because money doesn't have a heartbeat, okay? But money is an energy, and you can attract money. Money is energy because it circulates. It goes into circulation, okay? It's currency. There's a current to money. That's why they call it currency, okay? There's a current to it. Okay, and it goes around in vibration, and you attract it, and then it goes out, and then you attract it, and it goes out, right? Because you pay bills. Okay. Now your subconscious doesn't know if you're paying a bill or if you're receiving cash. It doesn't know. So on your bills, if you write "Thank you for the money," your subconscious sees it as real. Your subconscious just takes instruction. So be careful what you say after the word "I." If you say something like, I'm dumb, what do I know? I'm so lazy. I'm so stupid. Okay. Now you're committing the biggest sin, okay? Because now you're going against I. You're going against your existence. And the Creator created you in the Creator's image. So what does that say to the Creator? That says to the Creator that you're not appreciating the creation. That's what it says. So if you're not appreciating the creation, you're not appreciating yourself. If you have a bad self-image, you're not looking in the mirror and loving what you see. Okay? You need to look in the mirror and love what you see because it's a gift. It's your gift. It's your biggest gift. It's the biggest gift you will ever have. And the biggest gift is to be a human being. So when you look in the mirror, tell what you see that you love it and fall in love with that. Okay? Because that is creation. And you are a co-creator with the Creator. You are an extension of that. And that should make you ecstatic, not just happy. Okay, now Leo Rising. Good morning. We have questions here. Let me go and look at our questions, and we're streaming live on multiple platforms. We don't want to mention all of them because we have a TikTok algorithm that's very sensitive, and we don't want to trigger. We do want to trigger it in a negative way by them going, oh, he's on all those platforms. Okay, he doesn't need us then. That kind of thing. So Leo, okay, so isn't that the images support a reality in the subconscious? Yes, Leo Rising, that's just what I was talking about. Exactly. The images in a vision board, yes. So the fastest way for you to make an impression on your subconscious mind, or let's say it another way, the fastest way for you to manifest something is to build a vision board. Now, it's not voodoo or witchcraft or anything like that. It's your subconscious mind. Because when you impress your subconscious with imagery, it goes, oh, that's what you want. Oh, that's where we're going. That's where we're headed. That's what we're going to do. And it accepts the job. And it starts to lead you to that direction. Okay? So the images on your vision board. So let me show you my gratitude board. I'll show you my gratitude board. So my gratitude board looks a little bit different than my vision board because my vision board is like where I'm going. Okay, that's my company. That's where I'm going. Okay, that's who I work for. Okay, that's where I apply my greatest focus. This is my gratitude board. Now these are things that are already mine. Okay, and there's a couple of things like my affirmations, just to remind me to do affirmations. There's a money thingy over here just to keep money circulating. Okay, but everything else, and then you should put a picture of yourself in the middle. Always put yourself in the middle of a vision board or a gratitude board. And the reason you do that is because you want your subconscious to see all of these things surrounding you. Okay? That's why. It's a subconscious thing. It's not evil. Okay? In the Bible, here I'll show you. I'll show you a Bible verse for all you Bible people. Okay? Because yeah, I read my Bible. So let me show you guys. So I have one, and this is what happens when I put the driving mode on my phone. I get this one. Okay. So this is Mark 11:24 for you Christians. Okay. And it says the how is always God's job. That was me. I wrote that. The scripture is ask, believe, receive, and you can read it. Mark 11:24. Go to your Bibles, check it out. And it's Easter. It's a very significant day for Christians today. So happy Easter, all of my Christians out there. Yes, it's a great thing to do, Leo. Very good thing. And yeah, it works. It's worked for me for so long. I can't even tell you. Don't waste your screensaver. Don't waste your wallpaper. Don't waste your lock screen. Always put a goal on your lock screen, like always. Always, always, and you will bring it into your world. Now, the only thing you can't do, okay, or the only thing that you need to know that doesn't work is anything that works against someone else's free will. In other words, if you put a picture of Amy or somebody on here, right, and you're looking at her every day and you're like, well, I love Amy, I want Amy or Emmy or whatever, right, whoever her name is, right, you do that. Okay, now if you do that, if she doesn't like you, it won't happen. But if she likes you, your subconscious can take you in that direction. Okay, but you can't violate anybody's free will. Okay, you can't do that. Okay, so what is the biggest takeaway from today? What's the biggest takeaway? Well, I'll tell you what the biggest takeaway is. If you want a better life, you can design it. I've designed my life. And let me show you what I mean. So I've been doing affirmations. I have a video that I'll show you guys on my account. So if you guys gonna want to get a hold of me on let's turn that volume off. If you guys want to get a hold of me on here, it's over here. Okay, like that. Okay, you guys can get a hold of me through Messenger. You guys over here, okay, can get a hold of me on that. We're on 7 networks this morning. We're on 7 different platforms this morning, simulcasting all at once. Okay, so you guys can go over here, and I'll gladly give you all the information you want. Okay, but I have a video on here as well, and this video was about affirmations and my affirmation journey. Okay, and this is my affirmation video. Here you go. All right, so I just wanted to show you guys what 12 years of affirmations look like. You know, anybody can talk the talk, but you gotta walk the walk. See, you gotta walk the walk. See, so this is the first one right here. So this one was like, yeah, like that. See, these are affirmations now. They're not journaling. They're affirmations. Okay, so you write your affirmations and you train your subconscious mind. Now, when you train your subconscious mind, beautiful things begin to happen. You change your world, okay? Change your mind, change your life. So I just want to show you what 12 years of affirmations look like. So I show these to my clients all the time. Okay, all right, so you get it, right? You get it. Affirmations. No, so that was 12 years at that point. I don't know how many years ago I did that, but you can tell I was younger. I was much younger. So this is the last one I went through. This was the last one I went through, and you can see the dates. Right? The dates are all there. See? These are affirmations, not journaling. Journaling is different. If you're journaling, I don't suggest that you journal about the past, okay? If you're journaling, like what kind of day you had today, you know, I had this kind of day today, or I had whatever, you're writing about the past. You're living in now. You're living in the present. That's why it's called a present, because it's a present. It's your gift right now. It's your life right now, okay? The things you want to bring into your present need to be in your affirmation. The things you want to bring into your present need to be in your prayer. It needs to be in your meditation. It needs to be in your visualization. And it needs to be in your vocalization. You need to speak the dream, okay? So you write your affirmation out first thing in the morning, and you recite it before you go to bed, because your brain is in theta state when you first wake up, and it's in theta state as soon as you're getting ready to hit the pillow and go to bed. Okay, so you pick up your tablet next to your bedside. That's what I did. And I just read it out loud. I am so happy and grateful now that I have whatever. Now, and it could be anything. It could be, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have love. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be a material thing. Don't get it confused, okay? Yeah, I am so happy and grateful now that I am loved. Okay, I am so happy and grateful now that I have found love. I am so happy and grateful now that I love. Okay, those things are highly applicable. Okay, so do that. So Leo, I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, do your vision board, and we're gonna go over how to make a vision board. Probably tomorrow we'll do that. But I made this one, so this gratitude board of mine. Okay, I made this on Instagram stories. Very easy. And we'll go into story mode, and I'll walk you guys through the whole thing. We'll do that tomorrow morning. But we're here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So if there's any other questions, yeah, motivation. Hello, motivation 111111. That's a huge angel number. Okay. So yeah, you know, it's easy to live your dreams when you commit to living your dreams. You either want to live your dreams or you don't. You're either going to, you know, sometimes, you know, things happen, right? You meet that girl, right? It all starts with one beer. You guys ever hear that song? Like it started with one beer and then led to the next thing, and pretty soon you're married and you have kids, and it all started with one beer, right? Because most of us function on just, okay, I'm going to go over here. Okay, I'm going to do this. Most of us live random lives, right? Oh, this happened. Oh, okay. Oh, we react to that. Oh, you know, that way? Okay. But you can have an intentional life. You can intend for things to happen. You can expect things to happen. You know, when I was in radio, I was waiting for my break, and I thought it would never come. But I was always like, oh, is this it? Is this the one coming? Is this my opportunity? Is this the door opening? And finally, I had to wait until 1999. And I didn't even think anything of it. And it was like, can you sit in for this guy for a week? And I was like, oh yeah, can I bring my guitar? And he said, yeah, let's have some fun. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Right? And it wasn't till the third day, because I was supposed to sit in for a week. It wasn't till the third day that I got that feeling. And that feeling was an intuitive feeling. and God telling me, boy, you better sing for your life right now because the doors are opening. And I watched the doors open, and I was fully aware, and I was at a level of awareness that had pulled me above watching myself and the guy in the studio that I was working with at the time, the two people that I was working with in the studio. And I could see everything going down in real time. Now, humans are the only people that can observe themselves in real time, okay? Animals only have this experience. That's all they have. We can observe ourselves in real time. That's part of the problem too, okay? And part of the problem is that we pass judgment and we start critiquing ourselves in motion. And when we start critiquing ourselves in motion, it ends up in negative self-talk, low self-esteem, right? Because why? Because you see yourself doing stuff that you know you shouldn't do, but you're doing it anyway. And then you judge yourself, okay? And then you go, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, you did it again, dude. You know, that kind of stuff, right? And then it becomes something that you hold against yourself, especially when you're suffering from low self-confidence. Okay, low self-confidence. You know, when you have a receipt and you're walking out of the store and you look at the receipt and you saw you got shorted 25 cents, and you know you should go back and you should confront the girl and say, oh, excuse me, can you take a look at my receipt? I think I'm missing some change here. Did I get this right? You should do something like that. But you know what you do? You eat it, right? And you go, oh, nah, that's okay, too much trouble. I'll just go. It's only 25 cents. And the next time, oh, it's only 3 cents. Oh, next time, oh, it's only 10 cents, right? But in here, how are you feeling? In here, you're like, I did it again. I did it again, right? I can't go back, and I should have faced it. I did it again. Who did you do it to? You did it to yourself. Who are you holding responsible? Yourself. Who suffers? Yourself. What does confidence do? Well, confidence is an inner, relaxed feeling, a settled feeling inside. Confidence allows you to walk back up to the register without judgment, without an attitude, without anything. Oh, excuse me, ma'am, can you check this for me? And what will she do? She'll probably go like, oh, I'm sorry. Geez, I made a mistake. I'm sorry, right? And she'll make it good. And you'll walk out of the store happy and positive and confident and happy with yourself, which is what's really important. It's only important how you feel about this one, okay? How you feel about this one, how you treat this one. That's what's important, because wherever you go, there you are. There you are. Wherever you go, there you are. And you can't run from yourself, and you cannot lie to yourself. You can lie to yourself, but you're going to catch yourself in a lie. And when you catch yourself in a lie, and when you catch yourself deceiving yourself, it's an even greater burden. Because why? Because you know, you should have done the other thing. You shoulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Okay? Should have done that, didn't do that. Okay? Should have done this, and that could have done that, didn't do it. Could have done that, didn't do it, right? And then you get down on this. And then when you look in the mirror and you have to face this in the mirror, you don't like what you see. And you don't like what you see because this keeps making mistakes, and you keep letting proper with it. You can handle it accordingly in the way that is the most conducive or homogeneous, or we can say it another way, in the most perfect way, in the most relaxed way, in the most awesome way, okay? And this is what you have to do in order to be happy with this one, okay? You want to be happy with this? You want to look at this in the mirror and go, I love you. You want to look at this in the mirror and go, wow, you did a good job today. You go in your bathroom and talk to this one and tell this one that you did good. Go, oh, wow, you did really good today. I'm proud of you. You did a good job. It's between you and you, okay? It's between you and you, okay? But give yourself credit. Celebrate your wins. A lot of people win and they feel empty because nobody validates them, right? You don't need validation. You came to the world complete. You came to the world with infinite intelligence. You don't owe anything to anyone. you only owe things to yourself. Only yourself. So stand there in the bathroom mirror and it's just you, nobody else knows, right? And look yourself in the eyes and go, you did a good job. Right on. You did good today. I'm proud of you. You did a good job. You did a good show. You did a good construction project. I did some good plumbing today. I was a good carpenter on site today. I did good for my boss today. I did good for my employees today. I was a good nurse today. I was a great doctor today. I was a good trial lawyer today. And look in the mirror and mean it in all sincerity and come from your heart. Come from this one because this produces the biggest vibration. Okay, this is your heart chakra or your heart for some people. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you what to believe or how to believe, but you need to come from your heart. Okay, let's say it another way. You need to put energy into it. Okay, put your energy. Your energy is your life source. Okay, whatever you want to call this, you want to call this energy, soul, okay, spirit. Okay, well, you have a soul, but this is your spirit. Okay, this is your energy. Okay, when you're dealing with somebody else, that's what you're dealing with. Okay, so you walk around dealing with spirits all day long, all day long. You see them as humans, right? We walk around in these bodies, but we need these things. Okay, so take care of your body because you need these things. You need to pick up things. You need to, like I need to play my guitar. I need to teach. So I need these things, right? I need this one. Yeah. So everything in moderation, everything in aloha pono. Aloha mahalo. Thank you. Thank you pono. Mahalo. But you need this one. So take care of this, be nice to this, be good to this, be loving to this. Okay? And be loving to others. Okay, what you do for others, you do for yourself. The better you are to somebody else, the better you are for yourself and to yourself. Okay, the better you feel. The better you feel inside, the better decisions you make. The better decisions you make, the better outcomes. So there's the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. The conscious mind thinks a million thoughts a day, goes into the subconscious. Whatever stays there the most becomes belief. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. Okay? When you start thinking those thoughts, you have programmed your subconscious. When you have programmed your subconscious through affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization, now you form your paradigm. Your paradigm is constructed from all the things that you believe. Let's call it the roots of the tree. The trunk of the tree is your paradigm, and the fruits, okay? In the Bible it says, you shall know them by their fruits. Okay? Take a look at people's fruits when you meet them. Look at their fruits. Look at their desk, your coworkers. Do they have a messy desk? Do they have an orderly desk? Are they very organized? Whatever. Okay? Because the outer world reflects the inner world. Okay? So, yeah, are they really busy? You can tell. Look at their desk. Okay? But yeah, okay? This one. Pay attention to this one. All right, tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, we're going to make a vision board. I'm going to show you guys how to make a vision board. Okay? I'm here to improve your life. You can find me at hereforyoulifecoaching.com. My name is Junior. I'm from Hawaii. We'd like to say aloha to you on all of our platforms right now. I don't want to name all of them, but yeah, we're principally coming to you from TikTok. Leo, thank you for being here today. Lady with a Lamp, thank you. Jules, thank you for moderating. And Coach Love, thank you for being here. Eddie J. Smith. Hi, Eddie. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you so much. And